All right, one other thing from Jim Norton before we move on here. You just came in with the Village DVD, and you're just completely outraged.
He was livid when he came in. He's holding it up. He was speechless. He just holds it up so we can look at it, and he's just like, this.
And he's just ranting and raving about it.
Yeah.
I bought
in
this
a bad way.
In Chicago, and I'm tempted to get on a plane and go get a refund. This
that bad
piece of crap could be the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I actually, at one point, thought that this M. Night Shyamalan, whatever stupid,
Shamalama Ding Dong,
exactly, is awful. I thought this might be a comedy. I'm like, this can't be serious. The acting was atrocious. Atrocious. The story was atrocious. The Village. I would have liked this more if it was about Greenwich Village, and instead of red cloaks, they all wore chaps and drank out of each other's mules. It was not a horror film.
I thought the acting was good.
The acting was atrocious.
Now, looking at the commercials for it, it was presented like some type of horror film in the same vein as what was the other movie you put out?
Sixth Sense,
which was great.
No, Signs,
and
You
Signs.
put out Signs, so I was thinking it was going to be like that. I have not seen this movie.
Oh,
but don't worry, you could ruin it for me. I don't care.
I won't ruin it for you, but I'll tell you who will. Joaquin Phoenix, whose next film should be called Breakdancing in Front of the Viper. Awful.
You didn't like his acting when
it stunk.
When the retarded character in the film,
Adrian Brody,
stabbed him.
That was the only. No, I actually liked when he got stabbed. I didn't like the fact that he did live. The only part of the movie I liked is when Adrian Brody's face got slapped, because a retard being slapped is always amusing. Always amusing. Sigourney Weaver stunk.
Now you're saying the acting's horrible.
William Hurt.
But William Hurt's a great actor.
He was awful. Who else? Who's the chick? Her last name is Howard. Something Howard.
Yeah.
Stop ripping me off, Robin.
Brianna.
She was atrocious.
Whatever. Yeah.
Really? So the acting horrific.
I thought it was as a goof. There's a clip here where this one woman is like thinking of proposing marriage to Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
And I thought like this was like meant to be a comedy. I'm like, this has to be ironic. She can't really be acting. So she gets up all the courage and she walks up to him. This is what she said. This is her like telling him that she loves him.
Good afternoon, Lucius. I wanted to tell you something. I love you, Lucius. I love you like the day is long. I love you more than the sun and the moon together. And if you feel the same way, then we should not hide it any longer. It's a gift, love is. We should be thankful. We should bellow it out with all the breath in our lungs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's the next scene after he like doesn't react. That's her crying. I just wanted that in there because that's how I felt watching this film. Do you realize that?
Wow, that acting is really bad.
It's like listening to Blair's cousin Jerry do Shakespeare. It's horrible.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh,
dude,
Ron's daughter.
That is Ron's daughter. I'm like, it has to be his daughter for her to get acting work. She is atrocious.
Well, the reviewers, I remember at the time, thought she did a fantastic job with this movie.
Really?
It was.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying.
Now, it's not a horror movie by any stretch of the imagination?
Well, they definitely marketed it as a horror
yes, they did.
flick. And when I saw it, when the credits, started rolling, everyone's got really pissed off. People started throwing some of their refreshments going, that's
really?
it? That's it?
Joaquin Phoenix has this thing he does. He's on the same like success path as Jim Belushi, or name someone else who had a more gifted brother, kicked the bucket at a young age. And he does this thing where he whispers because he really is not a good actor. So to get emotion, he whispers, and that's his way of being passionate. Is he whispers, and it's enragingly bad. Because I don't know why actors somehow think that makes you seem passionate. It doesn't.
Really?
It makes you seem hoarse. It's awful. So I have a thing of him and Bryce. Okay. I think this is Bryce or the other dingbat.
This is Joaquin's monologue, I believe.
I love this Jimmy's review.
It's just him and her talking, and she says something, and he's passionate.
When we are married, Will you dance with me? I find dancing very agreeable. Why can you not say what is in your head?
Why can you not stop saying what is in yours? Why must you lead when I want to lead? If I want to dance, I will ask you to dance. If I want to speak, I will open my mouth and speak. Everyone is forever begging me to speak further. I would love to know why he goes like that. I would like to know why you're so exasperated.
He does do that in a lot of roles.
Here's why. He stinks. Oh, Joaquin. Anybody with a silent J in the beginning of their name is
Joaquin.
gonna stink.
Yeah.
Opie, how do you find your coffee? Is it good?
It's very good.
How many Splendas do you put in it? One. I can't believe it. One.
And she says to him, on our wedding night, will you dance with me? I find dancing to be agreeable. How do you go through a read-through with a bunch of actors and she says that and somebody doesn't throw hot coffee at her? How does that happen? I swear to God, I was teetering thinking that this might be some kind of an ironic parody of horrible acting.
Now, what is it about the story that is so bad?
Well, what's happening in the film, and I won't give it away, is that it's people like, it's like an 1800s setting.
Right.
And they live in this little village, and they're walled off from the forest. They don't go into the forest, and the creatures, who apparently are acting coaches, don't come into their village. The creatures stay in the forest, and red is the bad color.
Don't go into the forest. Don't go into the forest. You know, don't go into the forest or anywhere near the Golden Globes.
Well, because this is such an original concept, there is a council of elders, which was just such a conceptually brilliant thing for a film. And at one point, I don't want to give anything away, Joaquin Phoenix is stabbed by retard Adrian Brody, stabs him when he finds out that Joaquin is going to, I hope I didn't spoil it for anyone, is going to marry the girl that he likes, who's blind, by the way. Not the one who said, I love you, we should shout it. Not that one,
no.
But the one who said, I would like to dance. Dancing is agreeable. I guess because you'll never drive, whore, because you're blind. She's the one who...
It's the 1800s.
Yeah, that was a good point.
Well... But it's not the 1800s, Anthony.
Whoops!
Oh, no! Oh, Jesus!
Oh, no.
You wrecked it! I have not seen this movie.
Oh.
But don't worry, you could ruin it for me. I don't care.
I won't... Oh!
Wow, all right. Now that's kind of a cool twist.
Wait, it's not a cool twist.
No?
It stinks.
It's not?
There's one part where after the girl wants to go into the towns for the medicine.
I gotta recover from this.
Yeah.
That is a complete ruin of the movie. I have not seen this movie.
Oh.
But don't worry, you could ruin it for me. I don't care.
I won't. So she's preparing to go into the woods. The blind girl is going to walk through the woods to the town.
Because she's the best choice.
Are you kidding me?
And William Hurt gives a speech to the other elders because they're like, look, you're risking what we built here, this private thing, by sending her into the town where she may, run into Sanford Meisner. So this is exactly what's going on. And William Hurt, I took some of his monologue to the other elders.
The elders.
And this is his bit of overacting atrocity.
Right?
Who do you think will continue this place, this life? Do you plan to live forever? It is in them that our future lies. It is in Ivy and Lucius that this way of life will continue. Yes, I have risked. I hope I am always able to risk everything for the just and right cause.
Whoa, yeah.
That makes my skin crawl. And again, I can't blow the ending. So they decided to build this peaceful, crime-free
This perfect society.
Perfect society.
But what we learn is even a perfect society has a problem, and in this
Right.
case, it was the retard.
The
guy.
writing and the directing, yeah. So I hope any of you that went out to buy this DVD, I hope I ruined it for you. There's no creatures. There might be two scary moments. The most horrifying part is when the credits roll and you realize you got suckered in to buying this piece of garbage. It is horrendous. Everything he's done since The Sixth Sense has gotten progressively worse.
But he's really fast because a couple people want to defend the movie.
Oh, yeah?
Jimmy. Eric from Nebraska. Eric?
course.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, Nebraska?
Well, I've been listening to your show since October. Love the show, but...
I hate the show myself, but thank you.
I tell you, Jimmy, maybe you should go out and get a hooker because you seem to be in a very pissed-off mood this morning. The Village is an awesome movie.
Hey, listen, first of all, you live in Nebraska. You just like it because with the 1800s, that looked like futuristic and modern to what you're used to out there. The movie stunk.
Someone doesn't like wide open spaces,
I love wide open spaces.
Eric, what did you like about the movie?
Well, I've watched all of M. Night Shyamalan's work, and he's a hell of a writer in the sense that he will drag you one way and then give you that plot twist at the end.
Yeah, like everybody else in Hollywood does now. You go left, you go right, and there's the guy in the middle with no money going, what do you want from me? It stinks. Dude, The Village was atrocious. The twist, it cheated. The story was so weak and all over the place and boring. That's cornball love story between that dullard Joaquin Phoenix and this stupid blind broad who walks through the woods, and then Adrian Brody at the end escapes because he tried to kill somebody, and then he puts on the red monster suit, and she stands in front of an open hole and then steps away at the right moment, and Adrian Brody runs and falls and dies in the hole. The blind girl found the hole in the woods and knew to step away, so the retard in the monster costume, and this idiot from Nebraska is calling up like it's Citizen Kane. It stunk. Here's what he was trying to do. He was rushing. He thought he had this brilliant plot twist and this amazing ending. So the whole film was basically built to try to justify this thing he probably envisioned, and it was crap. When you look at The Sixth Sense, that was to me great. It was a great movie. It was well written. It was believable. It caught me off guard. It blew me away. This was crap. I wanted to be blown away, and it made me physically ill.
It could have been a half-hour Twilight Zone.
Dude, the Twilight Zone would have done it better. Yeah. They would have done it right. They would have known how to act.
All right, let's go to Chris in New York. Chris, go ahead.
How you doing?
Hey,
Hi,
good,
Chris.
I rented the movie over the weekend. Actually, I bought it. Yep. One of my friends recommended it to me, and after I was done washing, I drove by his house and threw it out his window.
Thank you.
It was horrible.
Dude, I bought it too. I'm so aggravated.
That's hilarious. Let's go to Johnny B on Long Island. Johnny B.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Johnny B.
Jimmy, I got to defend you 100%. I have never been to a movie where everybody in the movie theater for opening night said, wow, that sucked. And don't even bother. Don't even think about seeing Napoleon Dynamite. Don't.
How did they get around things like airplanes and stuff?
They tried to cover that. There's a scene, this arrogant ass put himself in a scene because he thinks he's Hitchcock.
He put himself in
I forgot.
signs
Yeah, he has
also.
to be in all his movies.
And after they realized that it's actually modern times, one of the park rangers is talking to his boss, and he's going like, hey, man, look, you're only there to guard the preserve. It's some kind of wildlife preserve that we're a couple miles in, and we pay the planes off not to fly over. It was like the cheapest tie-in.
Way out.
Yeah, dude, it was such a cheap, let's tie this loose end without any real thought into it.
Yeah.
It stunk. Red was the bad color. Apparently, the entire script was written in it.
All right, one more. James from Connecticut, then we'll move on. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, I agree with you, little Jimmy. That movie sucked. It sucked.
Dude, I was so mad I wanted to throw myself in front of a train.
Oh, and to compare it to the Twilight Zone, you just killed the Twilight Zone. That was way better.
And the monster costumes were horrible.
Yeah, what were they?
Well, it was like a red cloak, because monsters have red cloaks. And a big dumb monster face, and it looked like it had thin branches coming out of its back. It was corny and awful. I saw more believable monsters on Davy and Goliath. They were scarier as claymation than these awful monsters were.
All right. Shyamalan and Ding Dong lifted the surprise ending almost directly from 100 Yards Over the Rim, an episode of The Twilight Zone starring Cliff Robertson that originally aired in '61. I remember that one. Ship goes up into space, crashes on some planet, and one guy climbs over the rim, looks down and sees a telephone pole and a road and realizes they had crashed back on Earth and they weren't on a distant planet. So kind of similar twist.
Yeah, if you're going to put a twist at the end, just make it believable. Make sure, it's Stephen King talked about it in Misery, where Kathy Bates' biggest complaint in the book was that he cheated on one of the books. Like, he cut to a different point without the logical progression. That's what this did.
So you're saying he should be hobbled?
I absolutely believe that. I hope that M. Night Shyamalan faces a Hummel in the wrong direction. Because actually in the book,
This movie, I watched it on the hotel, movie thing. It was a good movie. I think if I didn't know the end, I would have really enjoyed it. I have not seen this movie.
Oh.
But don't worry, you could ruin it for me. I don't care.
I won't.
But even not knowing the end as it went on, and I was trying not to like it because other people were saying it was a bad movie. So when certain parts came up and I was laughing, and then I realized, why am I laughing? This is kind of a good movie. It was called The Village. I watched The Village.
Norton's giving you a look. Anthony liked The Village.
There's nothing wrong with this movie. It is a good movie. I thought, okay, the acting wasn't all that hot, but the story, how it was presented, I had no problem with it. And then there was one part where Joaquin is doing that thing we've all been goofing on. I hadn't seen the movie, so I too was goofing on the whispering thing, where Jimmy says that he's such a bad actor that instead of being dramatic or intense, he just whispers.
Yeah. Why do I have to whisper? Because I stink.
So I'm laughing when he's whispering. This scene comes up and he's whispering. I'm like, what a tool. I got my rah-rah, go Jimmy banner in one hand, my Jimmy this movie sucks hat on my head, and I'm laughing at everything. And then I'm realizing, wait a minute. He's whispering because he's on a porch and people are sleeping in the house inside.
I know. I understood the reason for it. I knew why in the scene he was whispering.
Okay.
But I'm talking about when somebody is expressing passion and the only way they can do it is by doing it like this. That when they're sitting on the porch and that cornball dialogue and she's going, she's going, why can't you never speak things that are on your mind? Why must you always speak with things? It was horrendously written. It was even more poorly acted. It was terrible. I wanted to love that movie when I saw it, dude. I wanted to love it. I like him.
I thought because it was a period piece, which it was. Even
though,
a big
bloody stain on the front of the dress. That's exactly what it was. It stunk like copper and mushrooms.
I didn't see it that way.
If you're going to do 1800s, do 1800s. But if you can't do 1800s, there's nothing worse than, why must I go there? It was just terrible. But meanwhile, they're sending a blind chick into the woods because they're all crime victims and they're worried about their families. So what do? Even though you know that there's no monsters, you just send the blind girl aimlessly into the woods somewhere and hope she finds the road and then doesn't realize that there's a car picking her up and then just makes her way back over a fence. It stunk and he should be gutted for it. Everything, dude, everything.
I didn't find it that bad.
No, they were just too heartbroken what had happened in the world, so they couldn't bear to face it. So meanwhile, send the blind girl through the woods at 3 o'clock in the morning. She won't trip on anything and catch her neck in a branch. It was terrible.
She had to go because she was in love with the Joaquin.
Yeah.
And she was the one that...
And he had been stabbed by Adrian Brody,
right?
Who should stab himself after winning the Oscar and then performing in that hunk of shit.
Well, him as
the little wacky costumes didn't throw you that actual almost adult teenagers were scared by the wacky costumes? Some douchey elder yelling boogaloo.
Did they actually say boogaloo?
No.
I might have had the sound down.
Had they yelled boogaloo, it would have added more integrity to the monster character.
He's beating you up pretty good, Anthony.
I understand.
He's beating you up pretty good.
I didn't find it that bad.
I didn't mind the movie.
I thought it was kind of he had a little message in there about how today it's better to keep your society in fear of something to keep them in control.
That was not his message. His message was, your first film is always your best, and it's downhill after that. That was his message. I understood he tried to put a message in, but that annoyed me in a way. If a social message is organically inserted into a film and it makes sense, but when it's done, it's too cute or it's too forced, it insults my intelligence, and it makes me very angry.
That makes me very angry.